Koakeao Kone. Te waenga ki a koutou. Tēnā. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll forgive me, I'd like to say a few words in English because my reo is too poor. Could I first pay respect to Komatua of Ngāti Whātua and Te Uri o Hau, and acknowledge Te Uri o Hau as Ngāti Whātua and Te Uri o Hau as the first people, tanga whenua of the land, Pararau here. And say, however, though, that my whānau, the Smith family, were the first European settlers at Matakoi, and the first Pakeha to live amongst you here at Pararau. And our whānau have been working together for generations, going right back to when Johnny Tana used to have the great bullock team that dragged the logs for the Smith Brothers timber mill at Matakoi, and worked with the Smith Brothers for years. The legend is, though, the question is whether the bullocks understood any English at all. And of course, I grew up right here at Pararau, and even though over the years I've lived first in Auckland, then in Palmerston North, and then in Adelaide in Australia, and I've worked in Wellington for the last 29 years, this place is my home. It might take me 4 hours to get from Parliament to Pararau, but I come home every weekend. I live just down the road and grew up with, and I want to acknowledge the families of the whānau of Pararau that I grew up with. First, Minnie's family, I remember as a little fella, Mr. Waipuri, Charlie and Winnie Thompson's father, or Charlie Thompson's father, was an old man, and of course Charlie and Winnie Thompson, such lovely, lovely people. And I worked with Charlie, that's Minnie's father, on the pumpkins on our farm, and Minnie too. I hated polishing the pumpkins, but Charlie would work away there, packing them, send them down to the Auckland markets. Such a gentleman, always so polite, Charlie Thompson. And I want to acknowledge the entire Thompson family, Wendy and of course Charlie Jr. and Atlee and Bertie that I grew up with, and Gloria and Judy, our next door neighbours that I grew up with. And of course the Manga family just next to them, Tuamanga's family just next to them there, Minnie and Aka Manga's family, such a big family, and then the Samuels just up on the hill there beside the Pararau church. And of course here at this part, at the Pararau Marae, I went to school with these people, with the Tana family. Of course, the late Dawn and Annie. I was actually at school with Dawn and Faye, Tana, and remember Bill so well, Bill Tana and Koro and Rangi. And of course, their other part of the whānau, the Harding family just across the road. You know, it's so wonderful today to see some of them. The Harding family, I acknowledge the late Danny and Ivy, Kitty and Olive and Mary, Sam, and I remember Mary was in my class with me. Olive, I remember so well, was I think in Winston's class. Minnie, of course, was in Janice's class. I think Sam Harding was, that's my older sister, and little Lucy. See her today, 7 years later. Such a distinguished, beautiful woman. Mary, and I remember. We used to ride from school in Jim Patterson's little old bus. We used to call it the cotton reel. And we learnt our ABCs together and played together and skinned our hearts and our knees together. And it's such a privilege to be here with you today at the opening of your whānau marae here at Pararau.